Tonight, when it is fully dark, step outside, let your eyes adjust, and look up. Between the scattered stars, the sky is black, almost all of it. A few points of light, and then nothing. This is so ordinary that the question feels almost childish. Why is the night sky dark? Hold on to that question though, because it is a trap. If you really think it through, the night sky should not be dark at all. By rights, it should be blinding. Here is the idea that turns a silly question into one of the deepest puzzles in science. Imagine for a moment that the universe is infinite, that it stretches on forever in every direction, filled evenly with stars, and that it has simply always existed. For centuries, that was the common picture of the cosmos. And in a universe like that, something strange has to be true. Think of standing in the middle of an endless forest. Look in any direction, and sooner or later your line of sight lands on a tree trunk. There are no gaps in the far distance because the forest never ends. Now swap the trees for stars. In an infinite universe packed with them, every single line of sight, no matter where you aim it, must eventually end on the surface of a star. And if every point in the sky sits on the surface of a star, then the whole sky should shine as brightly as a star. The entire night should be a solid wall of light, as blazing as the surface of the sun, in every direction at once. There should be no night at all. You might object that stars far away look fainter, and they do. But the mathematics is merciless. A star twice as far away sends us only a quarter as much light, yet at that distance there is room for 4 times as many stars. The dimming and the crowding cancel exactly, shell after shell of sky, all the way out to infinity. Farther adds no relief, it only adds more fire. Instead, you look up, and it is dark. That contradiction has a name, the dark night sky paradox. It is usually called Olbers' paradox, after a German astronomer who wrote about it in 1823. But that name is a small historical accident. The same puzzle had already troubled Johannes Kepler 200 years earlier. Kepler drew the boldest possible conclusion from it. If the night sky is dark, he reasoned, then the universe simply cannot be infinite. He used the darkness itself as evidence that the cosmos has an edge. Olbers was not the first to ask the question, and, as it turns out, not the one to answer it. He did have a guess. Perhaps clouds of dust drifting between the stars simply soak up the light from the most distant ones before it can reach us. It sounds reasonable. It is also wrong. Over enough time, that dust would absorb so much starlight that it would heat up and glow just as brightly as the stars behind it. You cannot hide an endless sky of fire behind a curtain. The curtain catches fire too. The first real answer came from an unexpected place. Not from an astronomer, but from a poet. In 1848, a year before he died, Edgar Allan Poe wrote a strange, sprawling prose poem called Eureka, an attempt to describe the entire universe in one sweep. At the time, almost no one took it seriously. It read like the ramblings of a grieving writer far out of his depth. And yet, by reasoning alone, Poe had reached towards something that physics would not catch up with for another 100 years. Poe's insight was this: the universe has not existed forever. It had a beginning. And because light travels at a fixed speed, we can only see out to a certain distance, the distance light has been able to cross since that beginning. Beyond it, there may well be more stars. Their light simply has not had time to reach us yet. Half a century later, the physicist Lord Kelvin turned the poet's intuition into hard numbers. He showed that stars burn for only a limited time, with a limited amount of fuel. Add every star that has ever shone, across all the time there has been, and it is still not enough light to fill the sky. And here is the part that trips almost everyone up. You may have heard that the sky is dark because the universe is expanding, stretching distant starlight away from us. That is true, but it is not the main reason. The physicist Edward Harrison showed that even if the universe were standing perfectly still, not expanding at all, the sky would still be dark. The finite age of the universe and the limited energy of the stars is enough on its own. Expansion only deepens a darkness that was already there. So strip the answer back to what the darkness actually means. The night sky is dark not because space is empty, and not mainly because it is stretching. It is dark because the universe is young enough and its stars few enough and faint enough that their light has never been able to fill it. The darkness, in other words, is a kind of clock. The sky is dark because the universe had a beginning. But there is one more turn, and it is the strangest of all. Because the sky is not truly empty. Point the right instrument at any patch of it, and the whole sky is glowing. In 1965, two engineers named Arno Penzias and Robert Wilson picked up a faint hiss of microwaves coming from every direction at once. They had found the afterglow of the hot, dense early universe, light from a time before a single star existed. That light was once ablaze, brighter than any star. But over nearly 14 billion years, the expansion of space stretched it out more than 1,000-fold, from blinding visible light all the way down into faint, cold microwaves. Invisible to your eye, and filling the entire sky. Which means Olbers was, in a strange way, almost right. Every line of sight really does end on a glowing surface, the wall of the early universe. It is only that its light has been shifted out of the narrow range your eyes can see. We can even measure how dark the visible sky truly is, and doing it takes more effort than you would think. Here on Earth, and even out among the planets, sunlight scatters off a haze of fine dust drifting through the inner solar system. That faint glow, the same dust you can sometimes see as a soft cone of light after sunset, brightens the whole sky just enough to ruin the measurement. So the New Horizons spacecraft had to travel far past it, into genuinely empty space, and turn its camera on the emptiest patch of sky it could find. It recorded the darkest sky ever measured, around 10 times darker than anything our largest space telescopes can reach. Even out there, it caught a faint, residual glow. The combined light of every galaxy that has ever shone. When the first measurement, in 2021, seemed to show slightly too much light, the team went back and traced the extra to underestimated dust in our own galaxy. The corrected result matched almost exactly the light of all the known galaxies, reaching back billions of years. Nothing mysterious left over, just galaxies and the dark between them. So the next time you step outside and look up and the sky is dark, understand that you are not looking at nothing. You are looking at the one thing an infinite, eternal universe could never have allowed. The darkness itself is the evidence that the cosmos is not endless and unchanging, but had a beginning, in time, written plainly across the whole sky. The oldest and simplest question, why is it dark, turns out to have been the universe quietly telling us all along that it was young once. You only had to look up and ask.